ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಕಳೆದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಕ್ಟೈಲ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಲ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಫೀಚರ್, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸೋಣ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ದ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಕ್ಟೈಲ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್. ಈ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನನ್ನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ದೆನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ or why we need to conduct this tensile test experiment. First thing is we have got this stress strain diagram by conducting the experiment, tensile test experiment in universal testing machine for ductile material. Then why we have conducted ductile material, especially for the ductile material? The thing is in most of the engineering applications what we are extensively using this ductile material. For example, it may be in terms of bridges irbodu, towers irbodu, antenna irbodu, like that. So and many structures we are extensively using this ductile material. And one more thing is whatever materials we are using in our day-to-day application, before selecting the material, first we need to find out their properties. First we need to check the properties of the material. To know the property of the material, initially we need to test the material using universal testing machine. ನಿಮಗೆ ಈಗ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ MTQC ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿದೆ. ಆ MTQC ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಟೆನ್ಸೈಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅದು ಮೈಲ್ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ಗೆ ಟೆನ್ಸೈಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಲೋಡ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸೋಮೀಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿರೋಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸೋಮೀಟರ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಮನ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಗೇಜ್ ಲೆಂತ್, ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಗೇಜ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್. ಆ ಒಂದು ಗೇಜ್ ಲೆಂತ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಮನನ್ನು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ ಶೇಪ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಷಿನು. ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ನಾವು ಝೀರೋ ಲೋಡಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟನ್ನು. ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಮನನ್ನು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಷಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಝೀರೋ ಲೋಡಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಜುವಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಲೋಡನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಜುವಲಾಗಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂಟಿಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಮನ್ನು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ನಾವು ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಲೋಡ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಲೋಡ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್, we will calculate the corresponding values of stress and strain. After getting the values of stress and strain, we will plot the strain values along the horizontal x-axis and we will take the values of stress along the y-axis. ಈ ಥರ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರಾಫ್. When we plot the graph approximately, and even this diagram is for the specimen which we have conducted the experiment at standard operating conditions. Therefore we have got the graph like this. The graph actually, if you see the graph, initially from 0 to O it looks like a straight line. After A to B and B to C, C to D, and we can see that after A to B also there is an increase, and B to C also the value of stress and strain is increasing, but at point D it is decreasing, and once again after D it will keep on increase up to point E, and after point E to point F it will be decreasing. Therefore when we conduct the experiment, see as shown in the figure, we used to get the 0 to A, we used to call it as a proportionality limit. From A to B we used to until B we call it as a elastic limit, and point C we used to call it as a upper yield point, point D we call it as a lower yield point, and E we call it as a ultimate point, and F is the breaking point. This is what the specimen which is shown in this figure for your understanding. Okay. Now let us see exactly the the proportionality limit, elastic limit, upper yield, lower yield in detail to understand why it is behaving, how it is behaving in those regions. First thing is the proportionality limit. Once again we will look into the figure. The 0 to A, it's almost absolutely it's a straight line, and even we have shown a slope here. Slope of a line is a E, that is nothing but your Young's modulus. If you want to calculate the Young's modulus, you need to calculate in this proportionality limit. The slope will give you the Young's modulus. See, then the first thing is proportionality limit. 0 to A is a straight line, which is a proportionality limit. In this proportionality limit, the value of stress is directly proportional to strain, and Hooke's law holds good up to only point A. The Hooke's law, which says that stress is directly proportional to strain, is going to hold only up to point A. ಏನು Hooke's law ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಬೇಗುವಂಥದ್ದು only point A ತನಕ ಮಾತ್ರ. The next comes is the elastic limit. The region A to B is the elastic limit, or even we can say it as 0 to A. The 0 to B is the elastic limit. ಈ elastic limit ಅಂದ್ರೇನು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ, the material regains its original shape and size and shape after removal of the load. Means until point B ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, O ಇಂದ point B, but any time ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ ಅನ್ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಶೇಪ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The material will have elasticity up to point B. Point B ತನಕ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, it will retain the elasticity. Next is the upper yield point. Point C ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Once again, if you look into the figure, look into the diagram, after B we are having a point C. ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, upper yield point ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Then what do you mean by this upper yield point? Beyond point B, the plastic deformation starts. See, till point B ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ elastic point B ತನಕ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಹೇವ್ elastically. After point B, the material starts behaving plastic deformation start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್. Material does not regain its original shape and size and shape after unloading. As in case of elastic region ತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, whenever we unload the specimen, it won't regain its original shape and size. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು plastic deformation ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And the point C, particularly that point ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು upper yield point ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And as maximum load is required to initiate the plastic deformation, and even the point C is having a value more than point B. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇದನ್ನು upper yield point ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And here the maximum load is maximum load ಬೇಕು ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು we are going to initiate the plastic deformation, initial stage of the plastic deformation. Then next comes the lower yield point, point D. After point C, once again if we look into the diagram, the point D is little bit lower than point C. Point C ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, point D is at a lower value, because after point C, when if we continue the loading the specimen, causes the dislocations or slips in the material. Further loading ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಲಿಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್. Hence material offers less resistance compared to B to C. In this region, material offers very less resistance to deformation. And even the point D, what it indicates is it's the end of the plastic deformation. Then next comes the point E. We used to call it as the ultimate stress point. After point D, the strain hardening takes place in the material. Strain hardening ಅಂತ ಒಂದು process start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Why the strain hardening happens is because of the dislocation moments within the crystal structure. ಆ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ in this region stress as well as strain increases. You can see that plot, it is in the increasing trend. Point D in the ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ but once again we can see the plot is increasing, means the value, both stress value as well as the strain value ಎರಡು ನಿಮಗೆ increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Then next comes the breaking point F. You can once again we will look into this diagram. After point E we can see that still there will be decrease in the value and it will end at point F. Therefore breaking point F ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು breaking point ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ behind point E necking occurs. Necking means ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ the cross section area of the specimen is keep on reducing almost ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರವರೆಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಥಿನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The strain increases with decrease in stress. Even on stress ಅಥವಾ loading ಅನ್ನು, stress means indirectly we can say that loading. Even if you won't increase the load much, but the strain value keep on increases. Why it happens is the diameter of the specimen is already almost all it has reduced. Reduce ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it won't take much load. Even for smaller load, the strain will be keep on increasing. The stress at this point is called breaking stress. The corresponding stress at point EF ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು breaking stress ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ತರ the corresponding stress at the point E ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು maximum or ultimate stress ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And even see our for calculation purpose we used to consider only the ultimate stress. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗೋ ಥರ ಆದಂಗೇನೆ ಅದು. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬ್ರೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗಳು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗಳು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. Then what is this yield stress? I have already told that yield stress ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ it is the ratio of load at the yield point to the original cross sectional area of the specimen. Even mathematically we may say that Fy is equal to, F indicates the stress value. Stress at yield point is nothing but load at yield point divided by original cross sectional area. In the similar way ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಡೆಸಿಗ್ನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಬಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಲೋಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಲೋಡ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ Fu is equal to Pu divided by A0. A means the original cross-sectional area. Pu means the load at the ultimate point. And one more important thing what we used in engineering application and very important thing is factor of safety. I would like to give one simple example. Whatever components. Let us take a simple example of a two-wheeler. Two-wheeler is designed in such a way that it is designed to carry only two people and on an average weight of some 50 to 60 kg. If it is more than that, it's going to fail. But even though they have a factor of safety, so that even if it exceeds almost even 1.5 times also, it won't fail. Because of that we have taken certain factor of safety. How we can calculate the factor of safety is by the relation. So factor of safety is nothing but ultimate stress divided by working stress. Means whatever components we are going to design in our day-to-day life, we won't design for the ultimate stress, we will design for a working stress by keeping some factor of safety. Usually we will have a factor of safety 1.5 or 2. Therefore factor of safety we can call it as FOS is nothing but stress at ultimate stress divided by Fs, the working stress. Then one more thing is the percentage elongation in length. We already know that whenever we conduct a tensile test experiment on mild steel, we are applying the two opposite pulling force P. Therefore, whenever we conduct tensile experiment, obviously there will be increase in length, or we call it as a elongation ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ elongation has occurred ಈ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಮನ್ ನಾವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ we need to take this formula. The percentage elongation is nothing but it can be defined as ratio of difference in change in length to initial length. The change in length is nothing but we can write it as a final length minus initial length divided by initial length into 100%. That is mathematically it can also be written as percentage of elongation is nothing but LF minus L0 divided by L0 into 100%. We will get the what percentage of elongation has occurred in the specimen. Next one is percentage reduction in area. As we know that whenever the specimen is subjected to tensile load, as the length increases, there will be definitely a reduction in the cross-sectional area. How we can calculate the percentage of reduction? Percentage of area as reduced, it is given by the formula percentage reduction is equal to initial area minus final area divided by final area. Symbolically it can be represented as percentage reduction is equal to AF minus A0 minus AF divided by AF into 100%. By using these parameters we can calculate the required things for our applications. And one more stress strain diagram in this class is this stress strain diagram for brittle materials. As we know that mild steel is extensively used in most of the experiment because of its properties and elasticity. But how we can know the properties of brittle metals is this diagram shows the stress strain diagram for a cast iron. Cast iron is a simple example for brittle material. Even there are few examples are there. Then we can see only the stress strain diagram looks like as if compared to our mild steel diagram, we are having 0 to A straight line and A to B. That's all. Fracture is occurring somewhere just immediately after the elasticity or proportionality limit, we can say it. When we see the salient features of this stress strain diagram for brittle material, that like our ductile material, this brittle material will also have a approximately proportionality limit, not exact proportionality limit, it's almost approximation. Beyond point A, the stress and strain both increases, like in our ductile material. Here also the both stress value as well as the strain both increases after point A. In this region, stress as well as strain increases. The material experiences smaller deformation before rupture and there is no necking. The major difference compared to this ductile material is here there is no much deformation. Only there is some small deformation before the rupture. Before the rupture means before the failure, and even though there is no neck formation as we can observe in our ductile material. Now we have arrived to the end of our session. Like in the previous sessions, here also we are having few CQ questions. We'll go through the first question. In compression test, the fracture in cast iron specimen would occur along axis of load and oblique plane at right angles to the axis of specimen would not occur. Think properly and select the answer, appropriate answer. The next question is, the stress at which the extension of material takes place more quickly as compared to the increase in load is called. Either it may be elastic limit, yield point, ultimate point, or even maybe breaking point. To decide based on the things which you have understood. The next question is, whenever a material is loaded within elastic limit, stress is dot strain. Whether the stress is equal to strain, or stress is directly proportional to strain, or stress is inversely proportional to strain, or square root of strain. Decide which one is correct. The next question is, in the below figure, the stress corresponding to point D is, it means the point D indicates what? Whether it's a yield point stress, breaking stress, ultimate stress, or elastic limit. Next, the fifth question is, a material obeys Hooke's law up to, whether it is up to plastic limit, elastic limit, yield point, or limit of proportionality. So now we have arrived to the key answers. These are the key answers for the multiple choice questions which are what I have given earlier. Therefore, before concluding this session, I would like to recall the things what we have learnt. We have seen the stress strain diagram for brittle ductile material. We have understood why we need to conduct tensile test on ductile material, and how exactly we will get the standard stress strain diagram for ductile material, and what are the different reasons or what are the different points we use to get the stress strain diagram, and a few parameters which will be helpful for us to solve the problems during coming sessions. And even we have seen the stress strain diagram for brittle material, how exactly it is different from the stress strain diagram for ductile material. Therefore,